just begun to leave. White lace and promises, a kiss for luck, and we're on our way. Before the rising sun, we smile. So much of life ahead. We start out walking and learn to run. Yes, we've just begun. Sharing horizons, the two of us. Walking together today, oh, talking it over, the two of us, working together day to day, together. And when the evening comes, we smile. So much of life ahead. We start out walking and learn to run. Oh, and yes, we've just begun. Yeah. Walking. I have to do this thing where I'm projecting. It's very unusual for me, so it sounds a little bit bawdy. Talking it over, just the two of us, working together day to day, together, together. When the evening comes, we smile. Life ahead. We start out walking and learn to run. Oh, and yes, we've just begun. First of all, I wanted to have you all just observe all the volunteers here, which is amazing to me. Now, I've only just met you and have seen what you've been doing in the last 2 hours. It's actually phenomenal. I know you'll acknowledge all of them, but a big round of applause. So again, if you'll indulge me, it's not like a happy song, but I want to sing a song, and this is a song that I think has transcended itself for me as a parent, because for any of you in the audience today who have children of your own, I know that you're here clearly because you care about children and their health, and I just would love for you to be able to transform this next song out of being a love song and transcend it into more of a song as a gift for children. The first time into the dark and the empty skies, my love. It's the first time ever I kissed your mouth. I felt the earth move in my hand like a trembling heart of a captive bird. All that was there at my command, my love, that was there at my command. Yes, the first time ever I saw your face, what darling, your face, your face. I'd like to welcome fellow directors of the Koala Kids Foundation. We're 2 years old now. Volunteers, friends, and new friends to the third consecutive We Believe Happy Helps lunch. We are here to raise funds to enable koala kids to continue to provide the small things that we know make a difference to the lives of the 520 children and young people diagnosed with cancer in Victoria each year, and to the 2,000 who remain in treatment. We know that Happy helps them. It helps the staff who care for them. It helps their families, and it helps their extended families and friends. And it gives all of us an incredible opportunity to also enjoy being happy while we do it. Many of you will have heard me say over years that our Koala Kids family is made up of a huge group of volunteers, nearly as broad in our backgrounds as the families we support. And just as we welcome volunteers from all walks of life who share our passion and our commitment, so do the families with whom we work come from all types of socio-economic groups, religious and cultural backgrounds. Cancer doesn't discriminate. It strikes like lightning, and in nearly all situations leaves families completely devastated in the short term, with parents and extended families desperately struggling to maintain any sort of normalcy for their family. We have heard many brave parents say, where cancer tries to break us,
It actually makes us stronger. To the point that others have said on the successful completion of their cancer journey, which doesn't end there. Cancer brought us all closer together. We worked out who our real friends and our real family were, and we don't take anything for granted anymore, particularly our health. Today is an exciting day for so many of us. Close to 20 volunteers, quite literally hundreds of volunteer hours, more than 100 organisations, over $150,000 of donations and in-kind support from companies and organisations as small as the Artists Courier, who bought Amanda McSweeney's magnificent piece of art here today, pro bono, to Amanda McSweeney, who donated a beautiful piece of art that we will auction later today. And we welcome Amanda here today, and we thank her for joining us and for her incredible generosity. To Andrea Moss and the entire team at Chris and Andrea's Liberty Bell Centre in Toorak. To Fee and Greg Carnes, very close and personal friends of Koala Kids. To Sarah Watt and Dr. Natasha Chika and the gardener at the Heidi Museum of Modern Art for the beautiful display of herbs that he grew specially for us, and the amazingly and incredibly generous donations that Heidi has made to our fundraising today. And to our very special friend at Koala Kids, Gabs Patterson, for her belief and support of Koala Kids. We thank Gabs and her husband Bryce and the entire Capital Marketing team for their incredibly generous and ongoing support of Koala Kids, and we hope you're happy today. In absentia, I would like to acknowledge and thank Lisa and Ashley Korsman, owners of Corjo Travel Goods, our foundation partners, who provide our office, warehouse and head office from where we do our amazing work every day and some nights of the week. Thank you. Without any of these and other organisations, too many to mention, we would not be able to do what we do in the style and the manner which we enjoy and which we do. I thank you all. Every single volunteer and organisation that has contributed to today's event is acknowledged in your program. We encourage you to please take it home, read it, look out for all your favourite brands because they're all there. They've all donated very, very happily to our lunch today. Note too the insert, which was a late print at 9 o'clock this morning, featuring another 100 or so incredible donors who were still donating up until 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. And we thank you all, and we encourage, if we have any happy envelopes left, that you buy them up, because once they've gone, they've gone. But there'll be plenty of raffle tickets. The irresistible items including a villa in Bali for 5 nights, some amazing throws. Sorry, I just haven't finished yet, but I nearly am, I promise. All of these irresistible items will go under our auctioneer's hammer at 2:30. It will be, like last year, a half hour of entertainment, engagement and serious fundraising. We urge you to bid hard for your favourite items, as well as buy up raffle tickets in the meantime to have a chance of winning some super raffle items and lots more happy items that go with them. We all believe happy helps, and today is all about enjoying each other, enjoying the magnificent comfort and amazing cuisine and ambience of Quatquatta and the beautiful wines of Frog Hollow and Boxgrove Vineyard, and to raise funds for our kids with cancer and their families. Thank you for coming. Thank you table captains for bringing your friends. Please, thank you. Please buy your raffle tickets, enjoy your lunch, and we'll be back at 1:20. I have to announce all our lucky guests before they take your plates away after lunch. So, on the count of 3, I am going to invite you all to hold your plate up and not spill your lunch. But you don't know what the colour of your spot means, okay? So have a look at your plate. If you have a spot, okay, if everybody is quiet, girls, until you are quiet, I can't tell you what you've won. The orange spots win a year with Steve. Oh no, sorry, wrong note. The orange spots win a $500 hamper from Andrea Moss and Chris and Andrea Moss. Ladies. Okay, I'm now going to read through the other spots. And please, they are no less special. We just don't have the time to present them all in that way. So if you have a Koala Kids smile, you win a month's supply of Lumity Beauty. Hands up, there's a few women in the room who already use it. Okay, the gold spots. Yeah. Ladies, for those who are curious about their gold spots, and it is appropriate that I mention our donors' names because everyone's been so generous. The gold spots are a pair of Maestro mirrored sunglasses. The blue spots. Anyone got blue spots? Okay, the blue spots are a beautiful gift pack from Crop. The red spots are a beautiful pair of sterling silver earrings. And the pièce de résistance. Who has a silver spot? You win a Koala Kids umbrella. Enjoy your lunch, everyone. And I'm going to ask table captains to please keep your guests quiet because it's going to be difficult for me, but it's going to be even more difficult for our guest speaker. But before I introduce her to you, I just want you to all close your eyes and imagine this scenario. Oh, morning. How many of you are going into Royal Children's Hospital this morning? Ali? George is coming in a minute, and we're meeting Hala and Melissa at the loading dock. Bridget and Miranda have got placements and Ruby's got exams. There is a whole lot of new Lego in the storeroom. Should I ask who bought it? There should be plenty of iTunes to take into the hospital, girls. And don't forget to take the carton of art supplies for the art therapist. She's been complaining for 2 weeks we're neglecting her. There are a couple of smash cakes to go to Peter Matt too. So don't forget those, you can drop them in on the way back. Just park out the front and one of you run in. Oh, good morning, madam. Nice to have you back from holidays. Here to do my rubbish bin duties. And make sure all you untidy girls have clean desks. My goodness, we leave you for a week and look at all those boxes that have arrived. They aren't just boxes. They're filled with the most the most fabulous donated personal hygiene products for our new Parents Happy Kits. They're all donated. Did the lip smackers, the headphones and the baby clothes arrive? Oh wow, look at those orange wash bags. They are amazing. Donated? No, bought wholesale. And we've done a slightly larger happy bag. You know the white one with the orange smile on it? Everything's going to fit perfectly now. In fact, we might even get a few extra pieces in. Those can be unpacked and put in the boardroom, darling, ready to be unpacked by the 30 Deloitte's volunteers that are coming in on Friday to pack their happy bags, in case you wondered. Are they going to do the gift bags for lunch too? Do you think I'm stupid? What did you say they were again? I said they're the happy bags, remember? Can you believe Milan is celebrating his 2nd year of his end of treatment and his gorgeous mother, 2 years later, has already collected more than 200 boxes of Lego? Yep. and they've already got them wrapped in cello and ready to bring them to us. Are we still doing those racing shoe boxes? We love them, but they are so difficult to give out. No problems anymore, they're non-gender specific. Boys can have girl gifts, girls can have boy gifts, and they can all have Can someone please print some address labels for all of the hospital departments outside of the children's cancer centres? What do you mean outside of the children's cancer centres? I thought we were only about children with cancer. Where kids with cancer are co-located with children with other illnesses, we don't discriminate. Oh, and don't forget Leon is now Bianca at the hospital. She's on maternity leave. How come? Don't worry about it, just do the sticker. How come we centre all those wards? I said because children with cancer, sadly, go to neuro if they have a brain tumour, or they go to orthopaedic if they have a bone tumour, and so it goes. That must take us into dozens of other wards. Just print the stickers. We've got orange happy tubs in 72 wards. Can't we all donate? It sure is. Don't forget to, sorry, I've got that bit. I have a number on code. Hold on, don't forget Kelpie Ward. There's 8 dedicated cancer beds there, but they can't have food because sadly the kids with cancer there are co-located next to the anorexic and bulimic kids, so they'll have to miss out on the food. And the Reef, that's the new Children's Cancer Centre at the Monash. So we've got the Reef, we've got the Kookaburra Ward and Koala Ward. It doesn't have any children with cancer. Did you get Catherine and Chantel's volunteer papers out to Monash in time for their registration? I don't know. They'll need new police checks. Why? I said because the old ones are 4 years old and they have to be less than 3 months. Do we need to lock in any new volunteers for Royal Children's Hospital School Holiday Program? Sure do. Helen, don't forget there is banking today, sweetheart. What do you want done with these stickers? Oh, aren't they divine? No time to waste, girls. They can be divided up over the 13 hospitals and put into the tubs waiting to go out next week. No, I'm sending out magazines this week to all the hospitals out in regional. Did you get the Christmas Lucky Dips too? Yes, they're on their way. We'll distribute those on Friday. And where are all those books from? Mike in the warehouse said there's a pallet full. Mill, did the special cake come in for Bella? Yep, dropped it off at their home in Baldwin last night on my way home to Hawthorne. Met the mum, 4 daughters, all under the age of 6. Just divine. I'm making up a whole gift pack for them. Yes is asked by we asked a couple of our book partners for a couple of Christmas books. We ended up with 3 pallets full. David Horgan delivered them personally, especially to us. They all need to be stickered, girls, today. So that's not me, actually. Peter Max ordered 10 chocolate pizzas. Fabulous that so many kids are going to be out of radiotherapy treatment by Christmas. Did they love their Halloween costumes? The Peter Max staff, I mean. Is Helen coming in this week to fill the book club tub? Who's our visiting author next week? All of the new resources need to be ordered for Christmas if we're going to get them out by the 1st of December. Neil, did you speak to that mother who phoned about her VCE daughter with a disability who wants to volunteer out of her cancer treatment and after her exams? Oh my God, I had the most amazing conversation with her. I told her my story and she's really looking forward to me meeting her daughter. And on that note, I would now like to introduce our Millie.
Yes. Now, I don't do well with being interrupted. Many of you have heard the last Koala Kids event that I spoke at. I actually lugged a glass vase of rolls up to the microphone and I threatened to piff them if anyone talked through my speech. So, on that note, shut up. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Millie Inman. I have the privilege of working with a lot of you in this room. And those of you that I haven't met, I probably know you better than you think. Now this is because Mandy, on average, gets around 60 to 70 calls a day, all of which she has on loudspeaker. Once we finish and we're mingling, come up and say your name and I'll tell you the last meal you had at the Mandy's. Or I'll tell you how many rosés you sunk by her pool. Today I'm going to tell my personal cancer journey. Usually I get about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, but I feel like Mandy allocated me 40 minutes because I usually speak for about 40 minutes, so I don't know. Maybe I don't know how long I'm going for today. I'll tell you my personal journey and then I'll tell you how I got to here. Firstly, I'm going through a lot of things at the moment. more so than just carrying 2 babies. Not a lot feels right in my life right now. Well, it's pretty uncomfortable being a waddling hippo. But what does feel really right to me is standing here and being able to speak at a lunch for such an unbelievable organisation that I feel truly passionate about. And you should all be really proud that you're here today supporting such an amazing event. I'm sure everyone in this room has been touched by cancer, and it doesn't matter if you are the patient, like I was, or you are the support network. Just either or, it is just as testing a time. So, I'm sure you can relate in some sense. For me, my journey started when I was 22. I had gone from school to art college, and from art college I went to university. And by the time I was 22, I'd literally been studying for my entire life. And so I was desperate to get out of here. So I was working some pretty crappy jobs. I think I was the manager of Smiggle. I loved Smiggle at the time. I loved it, I slogged working at Smiggle as a manager and working in one of my dad's stores and making as much money as I could to buy a one-way ticket to go overseas for the first time ever. Anyway, by the time I'd made enough money, I'd bought my ticket and off I went. So I was going to London and I had organised a design job and I was going to live there for a year. I had no plan. So I got over there, and I'm sure everyone's been to the UK. It wasn't quite what I expected. It was cold and gloomy and everyone had their head down. So, people bumped into you because they just couldn't look up. And I thought, I'm getting the F out of here. And so I canned in my design job, and I contacted the only person I knew overseas at the time. It was a 19-year-old boy I'd met once. And I got on Facebook and I said, Dave, what are you doing? I want to get out of the UK. Let's travel Europe. Anyway, he was travelling with a crazy friend of his, a boy that I'd never met. And I went to meet them and we went to Scotland. And the first night in Scotland, we had a massive night on the Guinness. Telling you how much we drank. And while drunk, we decided that it'd be a fantastic idea to buy a car the next day and a tent and travel around Europe in a tent. So anyway, I thought, okay, tomorrow morning we're going to wake up and we are going to think that was the stupidest idea of the world. But the boys were adamant. So we went to Manchester and we bought the shittest VW you've ever driven. It actually cut out every time you took your foot off, like every time you didn't accelerate. And we got an even worse tent. If you spat on it, it would have gone through. But we were adamant to do it. So we went down to Dover and across the Channel, and we started travelling. Europe. We went to Bruges and different places, parts of France. And then I realised very fast that the boys I was travelling with had no money. They had gone to Thailand before coming and meeting me, and I was paying for them like a little mum. And I was paying for petrol, campsites, the food, and I thought, stuff this. I want to stay over here for a year. So I said to them, the next place we stop, we're going to work. Now, lucky for me, that was the Netherlands. Now, I fell in love. Now, I'm not sure, I know that Rosalie, I'm not sure who Rosalie is. I know you, but I don't know which. I don't think you're over on this table. Rosalie can probably relate to me on the Netherlands. I fell in love with the language, and if any of you have heard it, it's certainly not very attractive. I fell in love with the country itself, and if you've been there, the architecture is actually not that pretty, except for parts of it. And I actually fell in love with the boys, so for me, I wasn't going anywhere. I lived above a garage with 10 boys. I can't tell you what this place was like. It was bunk beds, and we had it so well set out. There was crap all over the ground. You can imagine being in a room with 10 boys. We even had contraptions. I'm sure you've been to Holland, people smoke a lot of weed. We even had contraptions from the top bunks that through the poles you could ash your joint and went down to the bottom, and there was ash joints. Not that everyone smoked weed. Anyway, I was living on the beach. It's nothing like the Great Ocean Road. It was one of the only beaches in the whole of the Netherlands. But I loved it, and I truly can't tell you that I did not possibly think I could feel more alive when in actual fact I was dying. I was partying so hard that one day I got a cold, and being naive and 22 and having fun, I thought, well, okay, I'll get over this. I've just had too many late nights. So I went down to the pharmacy, or the equivalent to the pharmacy in the Netherlands, and I went on for vitamin C. And I thought, I can kick this. And about a week later, I couldn't get rid of the cold, and then I realised that I had bruises from my ankles to my knees, and I'm talking maybe 30 on each leg. And I thought, wow, how clumsy am I when I've had a big night? So I went back down to this pharmacy and I bought iron tablets because I thought I must be anemic as well. So there I was pumping my anemic tablets and my vitamin C's. And then after that I got a fever. And when I got a fever, it was so tremendously bad. My partner at the time, who although was so handsome, he was so outrageously dumb. He told me that I don't know if any of you know the Dutch houses, they go up like this into the roof. He told me that I should go up to the attic and I should sweat it out. So he put me up in the attic and he turned the heaters on. And he said, sweat out this fever. Well, a few days later, I was bad. So he took me to the doctors and I went in there on the weekend and I said, I need a blood test. And they said, oh, well, it's going to cost you such and such because you're international. I said, oh, I'll get better myself. But I didn't. 2 days later I went back, and so it must have been the day after. And I said, I need a blood test. I said, it's the weekend, pathology's not here on the weekend. I said, trust me, I'm not well, I need a blood test now. And they said, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to come back. I said, take a urine sample. I bet I've got a kidney infection. Anyway, he said, look, you're not going to know that, but I'll take a urine sample. So he took a urine sample. Straight away he said, I don't know how you knew it, but you've got a terrible kidney infection. So he gave me really strong antibiotics, and it's unbelievable how strong the mind is because I fooled myself to believe that I was getting better. I spent about 4 days on my antibiotics, and I was having a date day with my boyfriend, and I realised when I got up one morning that I had a very unusual bruise on my boob, and I thought, being naive again, I pinched myself with my bra. Anyway, I got to work that day. I was working at a hostel with all my friends that I'd made there. And by the time I got to work, I pulled my sleeve up and I had about 60 of these small blood bruises on my arm. And I thought, shit creek. So I went to my colleague said, you should go up to the pharmacy. I went up to the pharmacy and I said, look at my arms. They said, are you sick? I said, I'm on antibiotics. And she said, wait there. And she went over to the pharmacist, and the pharmacist, I looked up and the pharmacist shook her head. And I thought, oh God. She came back and she said, look, you've got to go straight to emergency. So there I was on the other side of the world alone. I got back to the hostel, called my boyfriend. I said, you're going to have to take me to emergency. So anyway, off we went, and we're sitting in the car, and I don't know why, and I don't have the answer for it, but I turned to him and I said, what if I've got leukemia? And he said, why would you say such a ridiculous thing? And I said, well, I've got these blood spots, I haven't got anything else, anything worse, what could possibly be causing something like this? And he said, you're being ridiculous. So anyway, I got to emergency. I was made to wait a good 2 hours before an arrogant Dutch male nurse came over, and he said, what's the problem? And I said, I've got these spots all over me. I showed him my legs, I had them on my stomach, I had them on my arms, and he's like, you've had an allergic reaction to your antibiotics. And I thought, phew. So he said, take a tablet and you can expect to wait because you're not an emergency. Well, waited another hour or so until a female doctor came down. A female doctor came in and she said, how's your reaction? And I said, I'm not sure, you're going to have to tell me yourself. I showed her and she said, is there anything else? I said, I'm covered in bruises on my legs. She's like, did you show the nurse this? And I said, yeah, of course. Well, she then pulled the curtain back and closed it, and she started screaming in Dutch at this male nurse. About 20 minutes later, 3 male professors came down to tell me that I needed to have blood tests. They came up, they took my blood, and then 40 minutes later they all came down again and said, we're really sorry, but you're going to have to come upstairs for more testing. So at that time I knew that, I wasn't well. I don't know that I'd called my family because I'm so close to my family. I don't know that I'd called them just yet. But I went upstairs into this room, and I was living in such a bubble because I was having such an amazing time. So I really didn't want to face the fact that something, was severely wrong. And the next morning I woke up, I slept the night in this Dutch hospital, and And when my boyfriend had left that night to leave me there, he got in the, obviously he didn't tell me this, but he got in the elevator with the Dutch nurse that had told me that I was an emergency. And the Dutch nurse said to my boyfriend, "I'm sorry, I said it was nothing, you can expect the very worst." So of course I wasn't told this at the time, but when I woke up the next morning, the female doctor came into the room and she said, "Look, we've got your results." And I said, "Oh, okay, shoot." She's like, "You might want to come with me." Well, she took me into a room, literally, the size of my tummy. And she sat me down, and in front of me was one of the male professors from the day before, and I remember just being, I was in another world, but I was sitting there in front of him, and he said, "I'm so sorry, but you've got..." And I thought to myself, well, and he wasn't speaking Dutch, might I add, he just was a long medical word that I had no idea about. I said, "You're going to have to say it in layman's terms because I have no idea what you're talking about." I said, "Do I have cancer?" And he said, "I'm really sorry, but at this present time we're about 97% sure that you have blood cancer, but we can't determine that until we send you to a blood hospital for bone marrow." Well, there is the saying, you don't know what you've got until you no longer have it. You feel like it with money or with love, but when someone tells you that you no longer have your health, it resonates more than anything because it's something you have absolutely no control over. And at that moment, I felt like everything had been stripped completely from me. I went from there, from that moment they told me I was sick, it was like you felt sick. So I was living in this bubble, but as soon as they said you're sick, I thought, I'm sick. So I was stretchered places, they told me I couldn't go outside because of how sick I was, so I had masks on. And I was sent to a blood hospital and I had a bone marrow, my first bone marrow, one of maybe 25 or so, my first bone marrow, and I had it with no anaesthetic because it was such an emergency. And an hour later, the doctors came back and said, "Yeah, we're really sorry to tell you that you've got a really aggressive leukemia, but it's got a good prognosis if you treat it." Anyway, from there it was a massive whirlwind. Back in home, back in Melbourne, although I was living on the other side of the world in a bubble, my family was like a workshop of people going crazy trying to help me back here. Everyone was mental. I had friends over. I mean, sometimes I ask the stories, but it's probably too much. It hits home when I ask my family about it, but everyone was at my house. You know, it was a Friday night, and my parents, who didn't have...
Do you never say?
Hopefully it's just the heat. So, yeah.
is now going to
Friday night, and Mum and Dad, who had passports that had expired, within one day they had people that had got them passports and they had tickets to fly over to the Netherlands the next morning. I was still living in a bubble. I had all my friends coming into my private room over in Holland, so it was for me. I wasn't really facing the fact that I was so sick. The next morning, the doctors came in and said that they didn't want to treat me in the Netherlands because they feared the worst, really. So they wanted to get me back into my home country. So my parents cancelled their tickets. And then the next day, they had told me that they were going to fly a Learjet over, as no airways would put me on their plane. So a Learjet was organised to pick me up, and when that Learjet landed in the Netherlands from the UK, I was told that I had pneumonia as well, so they wouldn't lift off with me. So they took the plane away, and so Mum and Dad had cancelled their tickets, and they said, "You've got one more chance to get out of this country." And at that stage, I was pretty scared, but they had a specialist, a lung specialist, to see if I was breathing properly. I think they had a blood specialist, and I'm not sure what the other specialist was. Everyone had to give the okay to get me out of the country. The jet was coming at 3 a.m. that morning. Anyway, everyone that I've been travelling with, you can imagine these boys from around the world, everyone came in to say goodbye to me. They were not only coming in rolling joints in my hospital room, they had their skateboards. All of their skateboards. My boyfriend was blowing up gloves and bedpans on his head. They were setting up all the alarms, like 10 boys in his hospital room with me. Nothing, you know. I was already in like kind of isolation because I wasn't even allowed outside, but these boys were mental. And they all came to say goodbye to me, and anyway, the nurse came in, my boyfriend set off all the alarms. He was playing with the electric thermometer and the bed. He was going bed up and down and in half. Anyway, I remember everything going off, and they said, "Get out." So the nurses came in and said, "Everyone has to get out of this room. We need to get this girl home tonight. Everyone can leave except her boyfriend, and he can stay until 12 a.m. So anyway, they let him stay till 12, and at 12 o'clock he left. He said goodbye to me, and the nurse came in and she said, "You've got to sleep for 3 hours. If in that time you get a fever, you will not leave this country, and tomorrow we'll start treatment." Anyway, I remember going to sleep for 3 hours, and I woke up 2:45 in a sweat. And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to die in the Netherlands. Anyway, she came to the door and she turned the light on, and she said, "You've got a fever." And I said, "No, I don't have a fever." She said, "You've got a fever." She came over to my bed and she took my electric thermometer from behind the bed, she put it in my ears, and she said, "It's not working." And I remembered in myself, "Your root had broken it earlier." And she put it back in my ear and she said, "It's not working." And anyway, she put it in 3 times. She said, "I'm going to have to go and get a manual one." And she walked off to get a manual one. She got to the door, and the 2 paramedics that were flying the plane had come in, and she was so flustered she let me get on that flight. Anyway, I got on that flight. I was on oxygen the whole way to Heathrow. From Heathrow, I still wasn't allowed outside, so I was pushed on a stretcher. I looked like that sick girl with a SARS mask on, sitting on a trolley going through the airport. And I was probably the only time, well not the first time, I was on first class. I got flown first class Qantas with a nurse called Angel. Ironic. She wasn't so nice, she didn't even wake me up for the meal. Probably never get to experience it again, so I've always held a grudge against her. And I got back to Melbourne, and I went straight in an ambulance with the sirens on from the Melbourne airport to Peter Mac. Not the Peter Mac you know now, but the very asylum, ugly Peter Mac, where I spent 8 months in East Melbourne. And as I arrived, I was lying on my stretcher, and I remember lying on the bed, and they got there and they said, "We'll stretcher you in." Well, I sat up, and I remember being in the car park, and in the waiting room I could see my whole family. And I said to them, "You won't be stretchering me in, I'll be walking." And I remember getting up and walking in, and for the first time I had to face my illness front on, and that was in the faces of the people that loved me most. So I went straight from there up into the Peter Mac meeting room, and I had my first meeting with a bunch of doctors. I remember it very distinctively, but I still was in a real bubble. And I remember the only question that the doctor asked me that was there at the time, there was three, not my doctor, who I'll talk about in a moment, but one doctor that was standing there said to me, have you got any questions yourself? And being in the bubble, I said, no, none, nothing. And she said, oh, you must have a question. I said, I don't. And my mum said, yes, you have a question, you have a question. And I said, what is it, Mum? And she's like, she wants to know if she'll be able to have children. Well, the lady, the doctor, her name was Rebecca, she said, look, I'm going to be really upfront with you. She's like, the illness you've got is very severe and aggressive. It was acute myeloid, and she said, you get it and you have it for 12 weeks, and if you don't treat it, you don't make it. And we're estimating that you've had it for 10. So if we try to save your ovaries now, it's just not possible. But post your first induction round of chemo, we'll certainly do something to preserve your ovaries. Well, clearly. Can you imagine when I found out I was having 2 babies? I was like, well, I had an injection every round of chemo after that shut off my ovaries and put me into menopause. It's pretty unbelievable the things that they can do. But my ovaries went into menopause each month, and then they'd wake up and they'd do it again. Now, I usually go into great detail about my 8 months in Peter MacCallum, but I'm going to really try and condense it down. I will tell you a few things. One, the ironic nature that I was brought home by a nurse named Angel, and I was saved by the Prince. And when I say Prince, it's in reference to the famous and renowned hematologist Miles Prince, and I know his beautiful wife is somewhere in the room, I'm not sure where. But I couldn't have been more lucky if I tried. I feel like a big part of, a massive part of the reason I'm here today is because of Fiona's husband. I think so highly of him, he might even score a middle name.
If it's a boy.
Anyway. As you all know, it's not necessarily the disease that makes you sick or kills you. It can often be the treatment. Chemotherapy was intense, and it wasn't so much that I was sick from having cancer, but the chemo put me through a lot of stress. The first round, 2 days after I returned, actually sent me blind. The steroids in the chemo were so intense that the particles scratched my eyes so much that I didn't see for 10 days. Another round, I got in there 2 days late, and I was so neutropenic that my bowel had got colitis, and following my bowel, my stomach fell asleep, and then my uterus decided to go to sleep. And so I lay, not even being able to put ice in my mouth for about 2 weeks. Another round, I think my platelets were so low that the doctors wouldn't touch me just because they'd bruise me if they put their hands on me. Couldn't brush my teeth because my gums had bled. But other than that, I stayed a very, very positive patient. I was the youngest by a long shot. The myth, I thought, I'd always had a bit of an eating issue, and I thought, everyone loses weight on chemotherapy. It's definitely a myth. I looked like the female version of Uncle Fester, and then I put on a good 12 kilos, and I was renowned for doing laps up and down the hospital ward. They'd say, there's that crazy girl again, with my blood in my hand, walking with my blood. Anyway, I think I won't go too much more into the details of hospital. I was lucky to have the most unbelievable support you could ever imagine. I had a family and friends I think that it's 50% of why I survived, because the people that looked after me and lifted me up every morning. But the support that I didn't have was the support of why I am where I am now, and that it was the external support. I did some pretty amazing things. Post-treatment, my last round, Miles came in to say, I reckon you're cured. And I remember thinking, I've lain in this bed for 8 months, I just didn't know what to do with my life. And I was so past, and I'd studied design, but I felt like I was so past that I didn't even know who I was anymore. And I remember my meditation teacher in there told me about this famous walk, the Camino. It's a 1,000k walk from France to Portugal. And I said, Miles said, what are you going to do next? I said, I'm going to walk. And he's like, you can walk now. I said, no, I'm going to walk. And he's like, what do you mean you're going to walk? I said, I'm going to get up and walk from France to Portugal. And he said, don't be ridiculous. It's going to take a good year for rehabilitation. Well, 3 months later, bald, I put on a pack by myself and I walked 1,000 Ks. From France to Wales. From there, I worked in I worked in jobs that weren't so me. I went into media for 6 or 7 years, which didn't feel like I was in the right place. At the end of the day, I didn't get what I wanted. And Mum had kept telling me that there was this lady, Mandy, you've got to meet Mandy. And Mum and Dad had been in the rag trade, and they know her when she was Mandy, chat in the rag trade. And they kept telling me to meet her, and I just hadn't got around to it. And I got asked to speak through a friend at the Young Koala Kids ball, and through that I met Mandy. And I can't tell you, and I don't know how many people in this room can actually say that they get off on the work they do. Because I truly love what I do now. Like, I truly get up and I feel so proud to be doing it. And I wonder how many people in this room can say that Mondays is actually their favourite day of the week. Because Mondays for me is my favourite day of the week. Not only, I can't tell you, to walk into a room, the table over there, table 13, full of madams, who I've named them the madams, to walk into a room full of so much love and support is unbelievable. The biggest smiles you've ever seen, every one of them is so happy to do it. Even senior executive garbologist over here that loves doing it. They are the most passionate group of people, and so are every other volunteer that works for the organisation, which I get to work with day after day, Pixie and Susie on a Tuesday, Anna and Jen on a Thursday, Charlotte on a Wednesday, who is the unbelievable organiser of the volunteers. But I get to work with the greatest group of people. I love it. I truly adore it. And I know firsthand that the small things are what actually counts. I know that even if all I do in one day is pack 6 smash cakes or order 6 smash cakes for a kid, 6 kids, I put 6 massive smiles on these kids' faces. And you have no idea. Like, I remember thinking that Vegemite and toast when my mum came in with sourdough was the best thing in the world. So I know that it's the small things that count. And I guess that it's a testament to the organisation and why everyone is here today. It's a massive testament to the person that runs the organisation. And I'd love everyone to put their hands together for it. Right, well, we're almost as crazy as each other. But I tell you, I have got 10 times crazy working with her. I didn't think it was possible. She's telling everyone every time someone comes to the office, you don't need to be crazy to work here, but it certainly helps. Well, I now go to work. I don't get greeted with just a smile. I get greeted every morning with a kiss and a hug. Every day I walk into that office. She's a good friend. She's my mentor. She supports me through thick and thin. Sorry, I don't get enough space. And I couldn't be more proud of where I work, and I couldn't be happier to work with such a wonderful person. And I wouldn't want to be anywhere else right now. So thank you all for being here.
I'm telling you now firsthand, she's more nuts than I am. This child is carrying 2 babies in her belly, and all of us, the volunteers who love you and who have worked with you and who tolerate you, couldn't be more proud and more excited to be carrying these 2 babies when they arrive in February. It up a little bit this year, and I thank you all for your patience and your silence. We decided to mix it up because every other year, for so many of you who have been, you have cried your way through mothers telling their child's story or children telling their own story. And I've got very exciting news that our Bridget that spoke here last year, we celebrated her end of treatment on her 11th birthday. Sadly for Sharon, her mum, Bridgie had lost her hair again for the 4th time. And Bridgie has vowed to raise funds to research why some kids lose their hair and some kids don't. And she apologised to me because she said, I'd rather be raising it all for koala kids, but it's not fair. The other exciting news is we have Alicia Griffiths here today, who spoke at our first lunch 3 or 4 years ago. And we all celebrated Teddy's end of treatment earlier this year, late. And Teddy's firing, and he's going to rule the world. And we couldn't be happier. So, you know what, I suppose what I'm saying here, and you've seen for yourself Millie's story, fortunately most of the stories are happy ones, and whether the endings are happy or sad, the journey is all the same, and that's our role, to make happy help for those while they are battling that daily battle that I can honestly say I would struggle to get out of bed for. And how mothers like beautiful Simone, who's our guest today, gets out of bed, not only gets out of bed every morning, but mothers 3 beautiful children, wives, a husband, daughter, girlfriend, whatever she is, we are inspired. We get our happy and we get off on watching these mothers get out of bed every morning. And believe it or not, they love what they do so much that they come to us and they say, can we give back? And I say, no, we don't give back at Koala Kids, because giving back is only for takers. We want you to share your family's experiences with us, like Millie is, telling us what you haven't got, or what you got was good, we'll do more of it, or what you didn't get, we'll do it properly. And it doesn't matter if it's as small as a tea bag or a lollipop, or as big as an order we got yesterday from Monash, from the New Kids Cancer Centre at Monash. They want 6 iPads. That's pretty big for us, 6 iPads, but I know today we should probably buy 600. We'll still try and get them donated before we So Mill, all I can say to you on behalf of, and I will be a little aggressive, but on behalf of your mum and your sister, whom I know haven't heard your story firsthand before, and there's more to hear if you go to Koala Kids YouTube, when Millie spoke at the Young Adults Gala that she spoke about, and let me tell you, they obviously have fear of bread rolls, those kids, because there was not a word uttered for 35 minutes that she spoke. And what she didn't mention was she may not have been able to afford the next meal, but thank God she had travel insurance. So, on that note, I'm going to ask you to stay as relaxed and calm as you are, because I would now, if I think I'm right on running sheet, I'd like to introduce our 2 other entertainment for this afternoon. And we have Koala Kids, gregarious, exciting, extroverted, and wonderful volunteer auctioneers, Mr. Jack Bongiorno and Mr. Andrew Stewart, who are going to empty you of your money. And look how magnificent they're looking. So, hair for 6 at Spencer & Co, bit of champagne, a few niggles, a manicure and something else. Gentlemen, over to you.
Stewie's got a joke to tell.
We haven't got time, Stewie.
Just quickly.
I'd like to hear. My kids will love this. They hear it every week. This bloke's got 3 hairs. This pride, confidence, say this, and a slight change in face. Spencer & Co hair and beauty for 6. This bloke's got 3 hairs, and he went to the barber and he said, I want a haircut. And the barber said, what do you want me to do? And he said, give me a trim. He said, all right. He gets the scissors, he goes, pick, 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 and he cuts the hair. He said, how do you want me to comb it? He said, 1 to the left, 2 to the right. So he combs 1 to the left, there's 2 to the right. One of them falls out. Ping! He said, I don't know how to tell you this, mate. He said, 1 of your hairs just fell out. He said, how many have you got left? He said, you got 2 left. How many do you want me to comb it? He said, I have 1 to the left, 1 to the right. So he combed. Jack would know all about this stuff. 1 to the left, 1 to the right. As he's combing 1 to the right, one of them falls out. He said, I don't know how to tell you this, mate. 1 of your hairs just fell out. He said, how many have you got left? He said, you got 1. He said, how do you want me to comb it? He said, he did stuff it, just leave it messy.
Okay, $100 voucher. Let's get it going. $100 to get it going. $100 to get the bid going.
Yes.
$100 we say. 100 bid. $150 anywhere at all. We're going to make it quick because of the heat. $150 do we say. $150 over here. If we don't see a bid, call it.
Excuse me, Jack, it's the Spencer & Co hair and beauty. Follow your program.
Girls, bring your program, so we'll make it really quick. So 150 we're bid. 150 150, $200 anywhere at all. At $200 we say, $500 worth. Quickly out it goes at 150. Going to sell two. At $200 now, $250 back there again. $250 do we say? At $200 we're bid. At $250 we're after. $250 in the back there now. At $250 at three. At three we've got. At $350 again at the back if you like. At $350 we're after. At three we're bid. Oh, finish $350 now. $354. Four to make it, four to stay in it, make it four, at $350, selling quickly, anyone else at four, all done and finished at $350, sold, $350. Okay.
Gentlemen, would you mind coming and standing over here? The acoustics are slightly better.
Some of the people
We have next the local drop, who are an amazing organisation, have donated the Koala collection, including an audit of your wine cellar. Sorry? I know no one can, it's a PR. We have an audit of your wine cellar and a $250 wine voucher. Perfect gift for the hubby or the boyfriend or the lover for Christmas. We have item number 2, right?
What do you think yourself at?
Whatever you want to
500.
the auctioneer, I'm not the auctioneer.
$500 I hear. Do I hear $500? Do I hear it?
One of you will.
Do I hear?
I think everyone's fatigued. Girls, remember why we're here, please.
$500 somewhere.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Yeah,
You got it.
500, thank you.
Bid, thank you.
At $500 I'm bidding, I'll take $50 rise and $500 bid. At $500 bidding, all done, all sound. 50. At 50. At 50 now. At 550 here at 600 can I say? At 550 I'm bid, all done, all silent. At 600 shall I say? Surely, goodness, I should say. Yeah, I reckon you're right too. 600 bid, 650 now. At 650 I'm bid. At 650 at the back there it's 700 bid, 750 if you like. That's, what am I bid, Jack? 750. That's 750. 750, wasn't it?
750 we're bid.
I thought I already had some.
800.
Make it 800. 800. Shit house auctioneers. At $800 I'm bid. At $800 I'm bid. Once at 800, twice. Third and final call done, so I'm over to 50. At 50 bid now at 850, should I say 900? I'm bid 850. Am I bid 9? Surely I am. At 850, you're done. Silent, no further bid at 850. Done, well done. Sold, I think they say at this particular
Next one, Tashi, our poster, fabulous belly poster.
Okay, valued at $550, we'll kick it off at $100. $100, give me down at 100 on bid. 150 do we say? At 150 I'm after. 150 make it 2. 2 if you like, anywhere else at 2. 2 we're bid. 250 do we say? At $200, going to sell quickly. Hold finish done. At 250 now. 350, 350 if you like. 3 the bid over here. 350 we got $400. 350, 350, 400. At 4, at 450 quickly. Finish up 450, $500 now bid, 550. Great calls here today. 550 we say, 500 the bid. Selling quickly, $500. Finished and done. Sold at $500.
I promise you we have only 18 more items. Not in an item, let's keep going. Come on, boys, move
On the
it.
drone, right, I will do it.
Come on, this is like speed selling. That's all right.
We've got a drone here that we're selling. Girls, go to the book and make it a lot faster, then we can just race here. We've got a drone here that does everything. It's got a 12 megapixel camera attached. $500 bid. 5 we bid. 6 we say. $600 anywhere else. 6 we've got. $600. 7 do we say. $900 worth. Bid $600. A great Christmas present. 7 now. At 7 at the back. At 7 with you, Sue. At $700. $800 anywhere else. All finished and done at $700. Selling quickly. Finished and done. 50 I'll take. $750 anywhere. At 7 sold to you, Sue Castor. Thank you. Next item, Stewie.
category voucher valued at $1,000.
It's Harley handmade rugs.
No, yeah, but it's not the rug, it's the voucher to go in and choose your own rug, Dale.
Righto, well there you go. How much for that 500 will kick her off at?
$1,000
It's
voucher.
a $1,000 voucher. Stewie?
$500 bid at 6, can I say? At $500 I'm bid, can I say 6? At $500, are you done? Once at 500, another 100 anywhere. Twice at 500, take one. Third and final call, hello darling. At $500, you're all done. Are you all silent? Is there no better bid? At 50 if you like, at 500. Done.
Okay,
Private treat dinner. We've got a private treat dinner, the value of $1,500 for 10 people. What about $500 to get this started? 5, we're bid 6, 6, 7, 7 now, 7, 8, 8. 1,500, that's the way to get it done. At $1,500, $1,600 anywhere else. At $1,500 selling, and it's sold. Thank you very much. $1,500. Next is the lunch at Point Leo Estate. Together with a weekend stay, the car thrown in, total value of this whole experience, donated by Megan Robertson and the Gandel family, nearly $3,000. Stewie, kick it off at $1,000. What a great Christmas present for those sort of items. All thrown in together.
Make it 1,000 on bid.
1,000 on bid.
I'm bid, I'll take another, what, $100 rise, Jack? At $1,000 I'm bid, at 11. At $1,100 bid here. At $1,100, 12, can I say? At $1,100, yell it out, please. 12. At 12. At 13. At 12. At 13 here. At 13, 14, 15, your turn. 16, your turn. 17.
2,000.
2,000. I thought you were
Good
saying
bid.
g'day. At $2,000 bid. At $2,000 I'm bidding, that's all I'm bid. At $2,000. At $2,000. Once at 2,000, one more. Twice at 2,000, another 100. Third and final call at 2,000. Are you all done? That's it. No better bid. Sold. Well done. Enjoy.
Okay, we've got the personal training, 2 good personal training, together with the wellness consultation. Total value $1,250. You know when you can't think of a 50th birthday present or a 40th or a 60th present? Here it is, $1,250's worth, $500 to get going, $500 we bid, at 5 we bid, 6 do we say, at 5, 6 we've got, 7 anywhere at all, call out your bid if we don't see it, at $700 now, 8 anywhere else, $800 I'm after at 7, selling, all finished and done at 7, $750 anywhere else, all out and done at $700. Sold, Andy, thank you very much. Yes.
And that was
Alicia.
Where is Alicia?
Alicia Griffiths has kindly donated the Koala Kids horseback riding sensation for 5 kids, a full day's outing for the children. Stewie, this is priceless, but it's valued at $1,750.
So we'll start at 1,000, Jay.
Start at
We're
1,000.
starting at 1,000. I'll have it for 1,000. At 11 if you like. At $1,000.
1,000 we're bid. At 1,000 we've got.
$1,000, you're done at 11 now. At $1,100 I'm bid. At $1,100, 12 can I say anywhere at 1,100. Are you done? Once at 1,100, twice at 1,100. Third and final call at $1,100 all done. Yell it out quickly if I can't see you. No further bidding at $1,100. Done.
Do we have an underbidder? Because we have another one. Alicia has donated 5 more places.
It's over there somewhere.
So who was our underbidder?
Yeah. Bid 1,000. Probably. Who was the underbidder?
We've got 2. We've got 2. We're done.
Oh, yeah, that's what I
We've got
want.
2. So you live with the 10 kids. There we go.
We're just kicking it off.
Thanks, Alicia. Okay, the Hiding Museum experience. We've got, is everybody on the right page? This is for 10 people. It's got a total value of nearly $3,000. Again, a great thing to put together for the kids, for the family. Nearly $3,000 worth like to start me off at $1,000? $1,000 to get a game.
Yeah, at the back there, Jack.
At $1,000 per bid, at $1,200 I'll take, another $200 to join in, at $1,000 I'm going to sell quickly, all finished and done, this is cheap, $1,200 we say, at $1,000 out it goes, all finished and done, at 12, is that 12? No, it's 1,000 back there, at $1,000 selling, sold over there at $1,000, thank you very much. Guys, we're up to the second Heidi Museum experience, a family membership together with all of the private viewing and art club. This has a total value of $1,400. I'll look for $250 to get me going. What about $250? A great Christmas present for somebody. $250, $250 to get it going. Quickly, at $250 we're after, at $250 without bid, $250 there, thank you at $250, at $3 we've got it, $350 if you like, $300 going to sell, $350 anywhere else, $400, at $4 bid there, $5 bid there, $450 we've got, $500, you like it 5 at the back of it, $450, $500, thank you, $550, $6 over here there at the back. The lady in blue, $600, at $550 we're selling, all finished now, at $550, bid here, 6 do we say, 6, 7, straight calls, 650, 7. My job told I'm not allowed to put any pressure on people this year. 650 will be $700, at 750, $700, out it goes, at $700, $750, 8 there bids, $850, $850, yes, with $850, 9, make it $1,000, make it a good bid at $1,000, $1,000. $1,000, make it a bit at $1,100. $1,000 with me, out it goes at $1,000. Anyone else quickly? One more bid, all finished and done at $1,000. Sold. Congratulations to the crowd.
Tammy Cat's Tapestry and Tammy's here.
Right, I'm being a bit of a tapestry expert myself. Go over there. And Tammy's here.
Tammy, come here. Tammy's here.
Tammy, this is Tammy. Made with her very own hands. Tammy, that's a bloody cubic thing, that. We're going to kick it up at $1,000. We're going to kick it up. We're going to kick that off at $1,000. If you can't see it back there, it's here. At $1,000, can I say? At $1,000 somewhere. At $1,000, give me a bid. At $1,000, I bid. At $1,000, I'll take a $100 ride. At $1,000, I bid. I've got $1,000, Jack. Unless that's another 1,000. Sorry, 1,000 here. Are you just confirming your bid? At $1,000 here. Are you? At $1,000, I'll take a $100 ride to $1,000 now. At $1,000, I bid. At $1,100. At $1,100, there's 12 when I say. At $1,100. At $1,100, I bid when I say 12. 12. 13, if you like. 13, 14. 14. 15, Amanda. 16. 15 here. At 15, it's your bid. You have to bid again, Dale. You're at $1,500 now. At $1,500, I'm bid. All done at $1,500. Once. Twice, third, all done, sold. I think it's yours, Amanda, isn't it?
Okay, the Liberty Skincare. generosity here today. $15,000 of items. And here we have $2,000. Thank you very much. That is absolutely sensational. What about $1,000 to get it started? $1,000 for $2,000 of hand. Yeah. And 1,000 we're bid. And 1,000 we've got. At 12 we'll take. $200 to join in. At $1,000. Quickly, we see $1,200. $1,200 on bid 1,000. I'll take the $200 rise. At $1,200 I'm after, but I'm going to sell. 12 we're bid. 14, 13, 1,300, 1,300, 1,300 with a little nod. At 12 we're bid, but we're going to sell. All finished and done. At $1,200. Anyone else a further? 13 we're bid. 13 we've got. 14 to stay in. 13 we're now bid. 13, 14 we're after. All finished and done. At $1,300. Quickly, finished and done. 14, 15, I'll come down here, the action is 15, 16, 17, $1,600. Anyone else? Selling for $1,600.
I'm actually not apologising. This is what we're here for.
Weekend getaway. You've heard what it's all about. We'll kick that off at 1,000, Jack.
I think that'd be great. I think Sue Clemenger bought this last year. It included, it was fantastic. 1,000 we're bid. It included 12, 14,
Sarah wants it.
14, 16. How much? 2,000.
We have 1,800, we've got 2,000.
2,4 in the back. 2,500 we say. At 2,000. 2,500, 2,600. At 2,500. $2,600 we say. All finished and done. At $2,500. $2,600 anywhere else. All finished and done. At 2,500. Sold 2,500.
Where's the bat?
It's signed by Australia and Pakistan.
And Pakistan is
Is that okay?
That's going to be cruciated. I shouldn't say that. You're not allowed to say that. Where's the bat?
Here's the bat.
Wait. Yeah, get the bat. Come on. Let's go.
Righto, what have we got here?
That's 2,000.
Hang on. There's a box.
Yeah. Guys, have a listen to this.
Righto,
We've got a box thrown in here.
Excellent. We've got the bat. Australia, Pakistan, and we've also got the big bash. We've got a box of 12 people in the box. But there you go, that's fantastic. All of them to one price of how much you think.
We've got 300 here.
We've got 300. I was hoping for a bit more than 300, but we'll pick it off at 300.
So 12 people.
12 people in the box. 12 people in the box. At 500 can I say? At $500 can I say? 300 can I say? Just 300. At 305 now. At $500 I'm big. 700 bid. At 700 on bid. At 700 make it 900. Will you bid 900? At 900 you now make it 1,000. I'm bidding on 12 bids. At 12 bids. $1,000 on bid now. At 1,200, 1,200 bid. At 1,200 bid. That's only $100 a bid. At $1,200 on bid. How do you get to that? At $1,200. At $1,500 on bid. At $1,500 on bid there. And you, I've got 15 here. Are you all done? First call now at 16, 17, at 18, at 19 if you like. I'm bid $1,800 at 19, 19. Will you make it 2,000? Make it 2,000. Or 19 will take. At $1,900. What? What? Hold on. $1,900. Done.
We've got a beautiful painting. We've got a beautiful painting. Over there, Amanda McSweeney has done this beautiful painting.
And she's here today.
She's here today. It's the Garden of Life. Written in the word, somewhere there is written in Chinese, we understand.
Jack, buy it for us.
Is the word love? $3,500 worth. What about $1,000 to get engaged in that beautiful painting? $1,000 to take. $3,500. $1,000 we've bid. But $1,000, $1,500 now. At 15 we've bid $2,000. Two we've bid. I'll take $200. Two to stay with me. At 2,000, 2,2. At 2 more if you like. 2 more we've bid. 2,6. 2,6. 2,6. 2 more. 2,6. 2,8. $3,000. 3 in front if you like. At 2,8 we've bid. All bidders have done 2,000. At 3. At 3 we're now bid. $3,000 we've got. At 3 the bid. At $3,100 if you like. 3,100. 3,2. 3,2 can we say? All bidders have done at $3,100. Selling at $3,100. It's your bid and it's sold. $600 on bid, I'll take $100 ride. At $600 on bid, I'll take 100. At 600, don't be embarrassed. At $600 on bid. At $600 all done. Also at 600, take 100. At 700, you're done. No further bidding.
At 400 I'm bid here, 450 if you like. At 450. At 450 and 5. At 550 if you like. At 5. At 5 I'm bid. At 500 are you done? At $500. 550. At 550. At 550 and 6 can I say? You don't get the cow inside it, you just get the skin. At 600 I'm bid. 600, wasn't it? 550, nice try, wasn't it? At 550. $100.
650. 650.
At 600 are you done? Silence. At 650. No further bidding.
insert in your program. Then we will announce the raffle winners, and then we will announce a whole lot of other amazing items that are all listed that we are giving away. Please, we ask you for 5 more minutes, and then we will say thank you to those who have put so much effort into today.
Okay, the final serious note. Tim Riley. I'm going to take $500 signature. That's $100 a night. 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. Lavina Beach, Bali, right on the water. What a cheap holiday. 5 bedrooms, 1,000 benefits. Just now we're in the $1,200 anywhere. $1,300 we can save. At $1,200. Selling at $1,200. Quickly, $1,300 anywhere else. All finishing at $1,200.
coming today, we will now draw our raffle and we will continue to draw more prizes to our winning tickets. But before I do, we have a mystery workshop to the Monday dames who turn Millie on. Can I have a representative, please? The Madam Garbologist, would you like to? It is from the Art Clothing Company. We have a workshop for 10 Monday ladies to go and be styled by And I have one more styling package for 10 women on the Art Clothing. Can I have any takers at any price? And if not, we'll keep it for next year. Okay, we have first prize in the raffle. We have first prize in the raffle, and I could call on Millie to do this quicker and easier if I just do it now. First prize. I'm sorry, I'm sick of my voice too, I bet you are. First prize to the Harding Museum of Modern Art, who have been incredible supporters of today's event, for a couples membership. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean a same-sex couple or a heterosexual couple. This can be any couple you like. Yes, and the winning ticket is Susie Emmett. Oh my God, Susie's just donated that. She's already a member at Heidi. Oh, so I've got to put it back in. Okay, so we have the winner of our first prize. I promise I won't speak over you. On table 18, Cheryl. Cheryl, are you? Second prize to our amazing event partner, Andrea Morton and Dr. Smith. We have a $1,000 voucher, and you cannot have detox or injectable. Oh, this is a hamper, I'm sorry. This is a hamper of... This is a hamper. I'll draw a ticket. Okay, we have Marianne, do you love it? Okay, third prize. Third prize, our beautiful friends, Diane Peter Walsley, who have supported us since we started at Koala Kids. We have Lisa Dart as the winner of the $1,000 provincial voucher. Oh my God. Fourth prize is a magnificent collection of marble basics items. It was too heavy for us to schlep back to the office because you may find it too heavy to schlep home. We will get it to you, and the winner is table 16, Joe. Okay, and we keep going. Fifth prize, we have a $500 Natural prize, and they have the most beautiful collection of vases. So don't think you have to go and drop a fortune. We have Lady Palmer. Okay, sixth prize. still here giving away amazing items. For the Safari Living voucher, $500 from Flick Willikowski, Lauren Dennis. We have a white Samsung tablet.
You know what? I'll get the New England men's suit.
We have a white Samsung tablet donated by Jenny and Paul Spoon from Telstra Glenbury Road, Hawthorne. Andrea Blowing. On table 11. Blowing, yours. We have a New England men's suit donated by Susie and Paul Collins. Kim Wilkinson for a beautiful feminine suit. Okay. We have from Space Furniture. Hands up those in the room that shop at Space Furniture. Your husband's on you, that's okay. We have a fabulous table on Space Furniture for Minnie Bond. Beautiful creams and body lotions donated by Women's Pharmacy in Toorak, valued at $375. These prices are amazing. Going to Amanda Keel. Fiona Myers' white shirt. I'm so sorry, I'm really we have a beautiful white shirt and white story donated by Fiona Myers on table 15. We're on table 15. Nikki Hill. Pasha Brock. I promise next time, if you all promise to come back, we won't have this many people. Okay, we have 10 Happy Melon glasses donated by the beautiful Masha from Happy Melon, who again supported the Koala Kids Lunch, Caroline Cornish. And last but by no means least, Jenny Anderson. Shani Anderson has supported Koala Kids since the day we started, and again today she donated 11 of her beautiful dresses and Ferreras, valued each at $180. 10 of them were in happy envelopes, and one of them we kept for the raffle. And the win, oh my goodness, Sandra Mayer. And I might add that Sandra and her beautiful husband Edmund supply the Koala Kids dames and all us volunteers with our coffee on a regular basis. Oh, they say it as a about ABC. Well, if you don't be quiet, I will sing. I would like to thank Kate. Where's Kate Sobrano? Okay. I think I can say on behalf of every single person, be you a paying guest, a volunteer, an employee of Quatta, or whomever else you may be, to our very, very special guest speaker, and to our Millie. I've often said I love what I do. I get up every morning very excited to go to work, and my grandfather always said to me, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. My work has never, ever been so enjoyable until that maniac woman came in and then told me she was having twins. Mel, that's all I can say. will never complain about a broken fingernail, a naughty child, or another first world problem in your life. To you, to those two hairy monkeys, she's got terrible heartburn, to those two hairy monkeys, and to you and to your mum and to your sister, to all your family, we say thank you. Okay, I believe we have a total. Charlotte is our dentist. She works 6 days a week, including Saturdays. So on her Wednesdays, she chooses to come to Koala Kids for the day. Mad, we've already told you you have to be. Today we threw her, we pushed her, we hurled her out of her comfort zone, and she has managed the entire logistics and execution of today's event. And at that point, I would like to say thank you to Charlotte. Hold it. And I would like to bring out all our volunteers and all the Quad staff and all